middle of the Pacific Ocean on a small coral island that barely breaks the waterline. There's a giant white dome. It looks like a science fiction relic. Smooth, round, motionless. But underneath, there's something very real. Something invisible. But something lethal. The island is called Runit. It's part of the Inuiatak atoll. That's a ring of 40 coral islands in the Marshall Islands chain. Between 1948 and 1958, this remote atoll became one of the primary test sites for the United States nuclear weapons program. In total, 43 nuclear explosions were conducted on or near the atoll, including one with a yield of 500 kilotons. That's over 33 times the size of Hiroshima. But after the blasts, that's when the real work began. Cleanup. Tons of irradiated soil, equipment, and biological waste had to be dealt with. The solution, which was approved in 1977, was dig a 350-foot wide, 107-meter-wide crater left by one of the test explosives. Dig it out a bit more, fill it with radioactive debris, and cap it with a dome of concrete 18 inches, 45.7 centimeters thick. The United States called it the Runit Dome. Locals, they called it the tomb. And here's the part that most people don't know. That dome isn't sealed to the bottom. There's no lining. It sits directly on porous coral, inches above rising seawater. Over 111,000 cubic yards, or 85,000 cubic meters of radioactive waste sit inside. The assumption in the 1970s was that this material would stay buried, inert, isolated. Construction finished in 1980. Sea levels in the region, they have risen gently about 7 inches or 18 centimeters, and there's reports that the rate may be accelerating. During high tides and storms, seawater laps at the dome's edge now and sometimes seeps inside. The U.S. Department of Energy acknowledged in a 2013 report that the groundwater beneath the dome is already radioactive. But the structure, it was not built to last more than a few decades. It wasn't designed for rising seawater. It was designed for cost control. And now the question becomes, who owns it? And this is where things get even murkier. The United States managed the dome's construction, but the Marshall Islands gained independence in 1986. Radioactive waste never left, but the legal responsibilities did. The U.S. maintains that the waste is now on the Marshallese land. The Marshallese say they never had a choice, and now they live with risk. Runit Atoll isn't populated, but Inuiatak is. And many Marshallese who were relocated after the tests, they came back in the 1980s, only to find that fish were now contaminated, plants grew strangely, and birth defects appeared at higher than normal rates. There was no public warning about what was buried under the dome, just a smooth concrete surface that kept its secrets inside. There's no easy way to fix what's inside the Runit Dome. Excavating it would risk exposing workers and regions to dangerous levels of radiation. Leaving it alone means letting time, water, and entropy do their work. No one is quite sure how long it will hold, or what will happen if it fails. What we do know is this: the consequences of these choices, they do not disappear when the headlines do. We built a monument not to progress, but to contain. And we left it vulnerable to one thing that no wall can hold back. That is time. And with time on our side, as well as technology, it opens the door to a futuristic new path. Will sites like this and others around the world be subject to excavation and then sending the materials deep into space? These are interesting things with JC.